hi. Thank you for joining me. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. In lockdown like everyone else.
Down life. The
And
new norm.
the new norm, and it has had quite a big effect on you. You kind of started this huge project, right? And it's been a little bit disrupted.
Yeah, so we'd finished wrapping up on a film, me and Caroline, who you've met before, Caroline Ward. So It Girls production had just finished on Stalling It short film. And we just sort of started working with Festival Formula, the wonderful Festival Formula, to set it out to festivals. And so as we got into lockdown, obviously a film festival is a place where many people gather, and you are reliant on an audience to enjoy your film and for feedback on the film. So we're continuing. I drank water and it went down the wrong hole.
Coronavirus.
No.
Like everyone always is like, no, I promise it's not me.
I know, and I have allergies, so I mean, I'm just a crying mess outside right now. Too many plants are trying to mate and have plant babies. So all the film festivals that need humans and people to see, they're now going online. So we've had to rethink and adapt and grow with Stalling It. So it's actually been quite nice to not be in the rat race, even though it's been quite of a shock to our industry. Definitely the film industry's had a big hit.
And how do you think you're going to kind of do Stalling It, maybe an online premiere? Is that possible? Like how are you going to go through with it?
Yeah, so we will probably premiere online on a film festival. There's a few in the back pocket that we're
top secret. Wait and see.
What
is Stalling It about, actually? I've just realised for people who are watching this and don't really know, what's the premise?
So it is about female friendship. It's set in the 80s at a wedding, and it's four bridesmaids, three bridesmaids in a toilet, and then we have a guest that sort of comes in, and it's a comedy about how the toilet break, that's where like a bonding moment for women, and the conversations you have with friends. And it's one of them does a pregnancy test, and then from there it's like snowballs into everyone trying to either have a idea of what they would do and try and help, or being like, or them having a panic attack, as on a side level. And then actually at the end everyone comes together, and it's about stalling it in your life, because Caroline, the writer, she had a moment where I think she was a bridesmaid for a wedding, and she was in Asda, and she started crying because she was like, how has everyone else got their life so together, and I'm just here trying to buy pajamas for a bridesmaid party, and I don't quite know what's going on with my life. And then she came to me, and I was like, I've been a bridesmaid 3 times like now, and I've thought the same. And it's about being like 27, and actually things just happen in their own time. And isn't it lovely to share that with the people in your life, and especially your friend family? So that's what Stalling It is about. And it's in the 80s, so there's lots of big hair and tacky makeup and big dresses.
I think that's so relatable as well, because not only do we all feel a little bit lost, especially at this time, but also the amount of friendships and conversations I've had in girls' bathrooms is right up there. So I'm sure everyone relates that. Now, while that is on one burner, I feel like you are a woman of many hats. You also have this amazing podcast going on, which couldn't have come at a better time, really.
Yeah, the hobbycast. That is my hobby, is the hobbycast. So it's something I've been wanting to do for ages, because so many creatives have so many different hobbies, and also hobbies that became their job. So I've started releasing them every Friday, and there's a few that have come out, and there are a few still to come. And it's just talking to people about their hobbies and why they love to do it, because I think it's so important that we do, especially now we've got time on our hands. I mean, even if you're, I went to go and bake some cookies. They weren't very good, but the process was fun, and having that me time and the exploration and that childlike joy and the pride that you get with whatever you've done when you're finished. I made like a little plushie. It's back on the shelf now, shelf of pride. And it's like, it took me forever and my fingers were covered and felt it, but the joy of it, and actually probably a bit of the sort of self-assurance, confidence that came with it was really nice. And so I've done this podcast, and now I'm just starting to do little bonus episodes where I've been like, guys, I baked some cookies, which I'm pretty sure are shortbread, but here's the recipe. You only need 3 things. Give it a go. I'm not a chef. Maybe get some support from other places. But yeah, it's been really, really fun.
I mean, especially, that's your phone. Do you want to go for
my phone? No, it's all right. I think my partner. My concierge, aka Tom.
The butler.
The butler. No.
I think that's so important, especially now, like, to have a hobby. Everyone's kind of, well, all of my friends, I know they're ordering jigsaws and paint by numbers, and I feel like we're all finding these new things. So Hobbycast is the podcast to go to if you want to find out a bit more. My question is, what's the weirdest hobby that you have kind of looked at? The one that you just didn't expect to either like or expect to even be a hobby?
So the first episode, the one that springs to mind is Quidditch. And like Quidditch. And first of all, I started to delve into it, and there's the London Unspeakables, and they play a Quidditch match every weekend. And I didn't realise, but everyone around the world play it, and they have like, I think there's sports affiliated.
Wait, so you can the game from Harry Potter, right? Where they're all on the brooms. Yeah, but they've done it so that you run around with a stick between your leg, and the best thing is this golden snitch is a person that puts a ball in a pocket and then tucks it into their back of their trousers, and then they run around. But when they first started the game, they apparently have like a book of rules like this big. The snitch could run wherever they wanted, so games would last like 4, 5, even 6 hours long. Oh my goodness.
I know, it's just so good. So that's quite.
You were the snitch, you'd be like out of breath running around for 4 hours.
Also, I was like, can you take a bus? Like, that's what I would do. Like, you know, in I feel like in Lara Croft, she like jumps on the back of like a moving vehicle, so you could like just hop on a bus and be like, goodbye.
There's no pitch. They just have to follow the snitch wherever it goes.
So they do have a pitch, but I think the snitch can go beyond that.
Oh my goodness.
And then if you're a seeker, then you're following beyond that. So it becomes like a giant game of hide and seek.
Well, there we go. There is a hobby for anyone who is watching this at home and wants to set up their own Quidditch team with their families and friends, maybe.
Yeah, do it.
How about you in lockdown? I ask everyone kind of who's been on this, what's your lockdown love? Kind of what you've appreciated since coming into this weird phase.
Oh God, I've actually I'm doing my gratitude list every day, and actually I appreciate, obviously, everyone, you know, that's a key worker.
Yeah.
I really appreciate my partner Tom. Oh God, I couldn't have done this without him. I would have been climbing up the walls. You would have found me as a feral human being on the other end of this. Smaller things, Ribena, strawberry Ribena. It's where it's at. Strawberry Ribena. I don't know why. Me and my partner Tom have just become so obsessed with strawberry Ribena. So that's a small thing. Oh, and my voiceover agent Yakety has been keeping me busy with lots of voiceovers. So that's been great. I mean, I'm just saying everything now. I'm grateful for
just grateful for everything. That's the best way to
strawberry Ribena. If you've forgotten that from your childhood,
look it up.
That's we've been calling it like squash crack, but that's probably not the right terminology to use.
Maybe not child friendly.
Not child friendly, but yeah.
Jemma, thank you so much for joining me. It was a joy to chat to you, and I'm wishing you all the best for the rest of lockdown.
Thank you so much for having me, and have a good lockdown, and see you soon.